why do you think it's gone too far? I mean, you were part of one of the most, probably the most successful British Asian sketch show in the world with Goodness Gracious Me. Why do you think political correctness has gone too far now?
Well, in fairness, just to make it very clear, I do agree something needs to change with Apu. However, I do not think they should get rid of him under any circumstances. I've kind of, in my career, been on both sides of this argument. I've been around when I used to play mostly wives of Indian men on screen, and I was always battered and bruised. There was a joke that I should walk into an audition with bruises on my face and I'd get the part straight away. Now, that happened for many, many, many years, and the way that we changed it was creating shows like Goodness Gracious Me, which, you know, sent the message that we wanted to send across, which is that stereotyping is an appalling thing to do, and there is another way that we can be seen and that we can play every character under the sun. Having said all that, what's happening with the Apu character is I think they're taking it the entirely wrong way. There's upset because a white actor voiced him. Now, Hank Azaria is a fantastic actor, and animation is one of those few mediums in which you can be anything that you want to be. I've played white South African to Aborigine on animation, and I think you should be allowed to do whatever you need to do in terms of if it's done with love. When Hank Azaria was interviewed about this, he himself said he did not mean to cause any offence. It's a character that he created that hopefully would bring joy and laughter to a lot of people, which, considering it's been going for almost 30 years, I think he's done the right thing.
OK. Trisha, is your problem that it is a stereotype and your issue stops there? Or, as Nina touches on, is part of the issue that it is a white actor voicing an Indian character?
I don't think it's so much a problem of a white actor. I mean, he's Jewish as well. I mean, and you could argue that he's part of, you know, someone who's maligned. I think there's a big difference that has to be drawn here. In the States, people don't come across Indian people probably as much as we do in England, in metropolitan cities. So a lot more people take what an Indian person is like from Apu over 30 years than they would in England, because you know, wonderful programmes like Nina's, for instance, on television, mainstream television, that hasn't happened as much here. So I don't think it's so much that. I just think what I take issue with is the accent. It's over 30 years. I mean, Apu would have picked up a few Americanisms. I actually don't think he should be written out as well, because part of Apu's background, apparently, is that he has a doctorate in computer sciences.
It's a stereotype because it's the Indian corner shop owner. But is there comedy value in that still in 2018, or should we move past it and allow him to fulfil himself?
I truly believe right now that it's being taken completely the wrong way. This is a character that people have grown up with. Now, if there is a problem with that, then there's more a problem with American society than The Simpsons. You know, go to the people that are upsetting other people, go to the bullies, go to the people who genuinely don't understand and try and educate them. Don't blame a programme and the character within a programme for doing something that was done not with malice, it was done with joy and creativity.
Isn't the point, Trisha, that what we need is just more varied depictions? You know, leave Apu alone. Apu's just one depiction. You can't blame the Simpsons writers for that. The commissioners didn't commission anything else.
But I think we could... But I also think we could move Apu on. I mean, once upon a time, and this word political correctness is something that we tend to throw at something that we don't like when we don't like any kind of change. Once upon a time, Benny Hill, people freaked out when they talked about Benny Hill disappearing, and it was called politically correct. But we've moved on from that. We can still have humour. I still think Apu's a lovely character, but I do think he could have grown, and you know, because you have to remember in America at the moment there is huge divide and hatred. It's a very different sort of scene than what's going on in Britain.
It's also subjective, though. I mean, I know for a fact with Citizen Khan. I mean, he's quite a traditional character, the Mr. Khan. I hear people from the Pakistani community say, thank you for doing something that reminds me of my uncle.
I don't understand the problem with being a shopkeeper, because that's the other thing that's happening right now. Do you know, so Harry Shearer, who's one of the other actors on The Simpsons, he plays the Black Doctor on it, Dr. Hibbert. Now, there's been no controversy about that. Is it because he's in a profession that's considered respectful and shopkeepers aren't? I mean, Britain was once described as a nation of shopkeepers, and you should be proud of it. There are awards that I go to here that I present to the best shopkeeper in the whole of the UK. So there are several different layers here. But one thing people should remember is don't take political correctness to this extreme, because once you start messing with creativity, we'll be bound as actors not to be allowed to be free with anything that we want to do. Leave The Simpsons alone.